Hi, guys. I'm just waiting. Oh, I see one person. I'm just waiting just a few more minutes to see if people come on. I guess I'll just make an. Oh, hi, Rhonda. How are you? Let me introduce myself. I'm Tamra, the Judeo Christian medium. Oh, good. That's great. Um, Oh, my week was good. It was very busy. And I actually went out a couple of times this week. Um, I tried not to stay out too late, though. It's still not 100% safe, but I actually feel more anonymous than I felt before. So that's good. But there was a lot of drama this week with the, we had big rallies and we had lots of crime. So I'm going to talk about Roe versus Wade and the rallies and things like that. But let me introduce myself. Like I said, I am a Judeo Christian medium. That means I'm Jewish and Christian, and I'm a disciple of Jesus. And I try to follow his suggestions. He's told me they were suggestions from the time period before he passed, when he was going around just talking to people. He was a medium and he was getting messages just like us mediums get now, just like all of the prophets, tarot readers, you guys, star seeds. We all have access to messages in different ways, and for some people like myself, it's a calling. Um, Let me get a little more comfortable. So, guys, I'm trying to say hi. I see a few more people here. If you'd like, I'm trying to do this on my computer, um, and we'll see if it works out. So let me introduce my spiritual team. I'll try. Oh, hi, Night Rider. How are you? I'm still waiting for your questions so I can do your reading. And just letting you all know, I've opened myself up to reading for you guys, and I've done so many readings, and it's been awesome. I hope that, well, I mean, everyone's given me good feedback, so I truly hope that everyone's liked their readings. Okay, so we have, and I just want to thank, we have God, our creator. We have Jesus, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Eric Medhus. His mom has a channel. Um, it's called Channeling Eric. Um, Archangel Gabriel sits right in front of me. So this is my circle. Mother Mary is to my right. Father Joseph is to my left. Then in a semicircle, we have Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Jophiel, Archangel Uriel, which is me, Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Jeremiah, Archangel Raguel. That's how he wants me to say it now. Archangel Ezekiel, Archangel Chamuel, Archangel Haniel, and Archangel Daniel. Okay, we have everybody here. Thank you, everyone. Just to let you know, they are all involved. They all have different knowledge. I want to let you all know, Jesus asked me to tell you this. Jesus is not all knowing. And I know that may sound crazy. Jesus is a messenger of God. So before Jesus can tell me something, guys, he discusses it with God and he discusses it with this whole team and others. So they can they have to be they have to follow seriously like laws and rules. um, from what they can tell us, there are things that we're not supposed to know. And oh yes, the Galactic Federation is here too. We I'm sorry guys, I always forget to say that we have the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, and the Tall Whites. So when you guys ask me a question or I want to know something, I can hear them all talking, and then sometimes other people come through, and then sometimes they can't tell me things. That's why mediums can't just pull up things really fast sometimes, and they'll meditate, and sometimes we can. But if you ask something and they're like, oh, we don't know, then like they're all talking amongst themselves, and they decide like how much information to give. Oh, I didn't even check the volume. Can you guys hear me well? I haven't done this on my computer. It's really good though, because I can see all the comments. Can you guys hear me? Oh, good. Okay. So let's see, where was I? Um, yeah, I hope that makes sense to you guys, why sometimes us mediums can't, we can't just, we're not all knowing. We're not all knowing. Okay. All right, good. I can see that. Thank you, Knight Rider. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk a little bit about Roe versus Wade. Hi, Alyssa. I'm sorry, you guys, I didn't come on last night, but I had too much fun. I went out Thursday and Friday, so I was a mess. So let's talk a little bit about, we're going to talk a little bit about Roe versus Wade. And I want you to keep in mind, it's going to be coming from a place of a bigger picture of dark reptilian energy. So I've told you guys that dark reptilian energy infiltrates everything. It is constantly hovering, and you have to constantly battle it, even with yourself, in your if you're married, because it's that it hangs out in the fourth dimension, and it's really overtaken dark reptilians who are here, and then it overtakes reptilians. Many star seeds have been negatively influenced and taken out by this energy. So keep in mind that that's like the big umbrella. But as far as Roe versus Wade, with the A word, many people, I'm sure, want to know, how does Jesus feel about that? So, you guys, he is saying they're not into it. Like, they don't think it's a good thing. But please hear me out. So they're saying, yes, A is wrong. Guys, also feel free to ask me questions, because I'm just starting out with this information. But you guys can ask me anything, and after I'm done telling you this, we can talk about something else too. So forced labor, so forced having a child is wrong too. Not having family support if you're going to have a child is wrong. And JFK is here. He's really interested in this, and he helped come up with these answers. This is what he would say if he was doing a speech. And let's see, people who, generations of people who think that being on welfare is wrong. But they're saying the deep whole system has to change. The whole system the way that we treat each other, the humanity, the way JFK loves to say this. He said in his video, he's saying it now, when archaeologists dig up bones, they look to see, in order for them to tell if it's a civilized society, they look to see for somehow they can tell by looking at the bones if the elderly, the disabled, and the children were taken care of. That's how they decide if we're living in a civilized society. And unfortunately, we're not really living in a civilized society. So if you just look at each part, like if people are saying A is wrong and let's make it illegal, that you can't just have that one part. There has to be like a whole system. So and Jesus does not like how this is being done in his name. And obviously, I've said before, he did not write the Bible. The Bible was written after his crucifixion. It's been rewritten and rewritten, rewritten, rewritten by a king, King James of England. So, guys, things have been distorted, and he doesn't like people making others suffer under his name. He appreciates that people want to, quote unquote, be Christian. But okay, let me go on. It says parents need to teach their children worth. Because you're not going to get it from school, guys. You can learn things in school, but going to school is not going to teach you worth. Hi, Diane. Oh yeah, sisters and brothers. I like that. I did a reading for Diane. Oh, I hope you don't mind me saying that. Okay, so let's see. So parents we're talking about Roe versus Wade and the A word. Parents need to systematically go over every life scenario with their children. And I know it's a big responsibility, it's a big ask, but if you don't go over every scenario, like what happens if you do this? What happens if you do that? How do you make toast? How do you do this? If you don't go over every scenario, you're leaving it up to strangers to teach your children what to do. And the A word is a personal thing, pregnancy, marriage, and personal decisions need to be made with other people that are involved, not the government, not the school system, if that makes sense. Now, that being said, many people don't have family, so it's not that, it's very complex, and politicians should be, they've decided to go to extremes in some cases, not everyone, because this decision has been made state by state. But you know what I mean, like when they talk about things, sometimes it has gone to extremes. So yeah, so they said to parents, not okay. So many people say, like, don't be a friend to your child, be a parent, and that makes sense. So Jesus is saying, okay, even if you were like the cool parent, like, I want to be a friend to my child, well, you do give your friends good advice, right? So for some reason, they're really talking about like giving our children good advice. And really, guys, the problem that we have here is a lack of love. a lack of love in the world, a lack of love in our relationships. And that's like the deeper cause. And if children grow up with a lack of love, they're saying, you know, men and women can their first um, encounter, I don't want to use the S word, their first rendezvous, like if they didn't grow up with love and they're not taught how they can get caught up in those emotions, and even if they are, they can get swept away, but they'll think that their first encounter is love. And who knows, it might be, they could be meet their twin flame in junior high, elementary school. But you know what I'm saying, like it can get like really, really confusing. And also, guys, Jesus is saying this really sort of controversial thing. um, he is saying that people who are actually looking for love and expecting real, true love in their relationships are oftentimes seen as very controversial, if that makes sense. Like actually asking another person to truly love you, or to have true love for your children, or true love. They're saying that many people are so in their heads, and they have this like um, almost workplace idea of like what you're supposed to do in your relationships, instead of just, if you just loved, um, they're singing, "All you need is love." Burr, 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 burr. Like really, if you just loved people, you would know what to do. And this isn't saying like you should love everyone exactly the same. It's not black and white. But tell me what you guys think. This it's incredibly controversial. I didn't want to talk about it, but um, they want to talk about it. So if you separate each part, like JFK has said in the past, like um all you need is all you need is live. Is that like a joke you didn't mean to make? You think the light is winning? Guys, it's so interesting. I agree. I think the light is winning. And they're saying, yes. I went out on Friday night, and it was one of the first nights that I just felt like there has been so much darkness, especially since the pandemic. And the way that they showed it to me is all these like scenarios that we've talked about, the riots, and the things that I've talked about, all the violence, like each type of violence has been highlighted. I told you how that woman was pushed down in Manhattan. Well, each of these scenarios have shown people the extreme. In order for these things to happen, many people were feeling this way, and they said many things started on the internet, like this elderly abuse that I talked about started on the internet and murmured, and it turned into actions. And then one of the final consequences, I mean, there were many, was like this woman just being pushed down for no reason. So things like this, like they're saying that we are reaching a turning point where people have had it. And in culture, in societies, if you go through history, that has happened, over and over and over. We go back and forth, like especially the United States really goes to extremes. We'll see that we go Republican, Democrat, and what they're hoping for is that we can find a happy medium. But JFK said he wants to make the point that no political system will work unless the politicians are not corrupt or the society is not corrupt, because it's not just one thing or the other. So I was just thinking about that song. That's so crazy. But you guys, I'm telling you, like, what has happened with this is sometimes, like, I've thought about things and I haven't talked about it, but then um, your questions will actually be something that I forgot to tell you, or like I was thinking about making a video about, if that makes sense. Do you guys have any questions? It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm talking about. Jesus just wanted to bring that up, and JFK wanted to bring that up because, it's a very controversial subject. Also, this is going to sound very controversial, like they're pro, and they don't like that. They're not pro A, and they're not pro like forced labor either. So what they do want you to know is our soul. I'm wondering if any starseed. Okay, so our soul, and this isn't 100% across the board as to when our soul enters our body, but they're saying oftentimes, and it's up to us, it happens right as we're born. And sometimes, guys, souls can wait until like up to 6 months after they're born to fully enter their body. So just to let you know that. Now, I'm not saying this because I want everyone to go out and get, an A. That, no, they think that that is traumatizing. And hold on, they're talking. It's not a positive. It's not a positive thing, guys. So, like everything that I've said and how to keep your life positive, obviously that's a negative thing. Obviously, like, none of them are on board with that. But also, with 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 the dark reptilian influence we have, and it's here because if you have someone who is in that situation and there's no one to help them, we're not living 100% in the light. So we have to take that into consideration too. But do you guys have any questions about that, about conception, about, let me look through here. The dark ones are trying to stir the pot. Always, always, guys. And if you are, sorry, I'm keeping this on my knee. If you are a star seed, guys, you know, I've told you this. It's like moth to a flame. You will attract dark reptilians. Let's see, I was just thinking about that song. Oh, I have a correction to make too, guys. Somebody asked me about the Kardashians, if they're reptilian, and I said they're star seeds. So what they are, like the core girls, the sisters and brother, they are a mix. So they are Arcturian and reptilian mix. So I told you guys that's like the cool person mix. It's like a little bit like funky, fashionable, funny, talented, but they are also mixed with reptilians, so that gives them that toughness, that edge. So sorry about that. I don't know. I think it was a guy who asked me. I don't think he's here. Um, BB, I do. Okay, so let me get to your questions, guys. I was just thinking about that. I do. I'm wondering if any star seed. If you're a star seed, BB, you know what? Why don't you? Yeah, why don't? That's a private question. So why don't you email me? My email is in my about section. How do we stop the chips in the brain? Okay. Jesus says there are no chips. No one has put chips in your brain, Alicia. Um, what the negative reptilian influence can do, like I said, they hang out in the fourth dimension. So they can negatively affect your thinking, and it's through trauma. If you've had trauma done to you, um, if you've had trauma done to you, and it leaves an opening, for a negative, dark reptilian influence, it like a channel. So, guys, if you've had any trauma in your life, so Megan Rose spoke about it. Okay, well, I'm just going to tell you guys what they've told me, and maybe it's different lingo, but they're telling me there is no chip. What it is it's an opening from having trauma. And so, guys, if you've had any trauma in your life, any sort of abuse, especially S abuse, that's the biggest. That's the biggest way that dark reptilian energy can affect you. And I know it's not fair, but it leaves an opening. And so if anything like that has happened to you, narcissistic abuse, you have to like be extra in combating it. You have to really keep your space clean, yourself clean. You have to really protect yourself in any way that you can. And you know the way to offset negativity that has happened to you is to do something positive. Like if someone's trying to abuse you, you have to remove yourself and be really extra in doing something very, very positive, if that makes sense. So I'm wondering if you found any info about Ashley's diary. No, can you write out what exactly you're talking about so I can ask them? Like, who is Ashley and what is her oh, wait, Ashley. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. They're talking to me now. Um uh do, 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 do. Can you guys give me 1 minute so I can really listen to them? Are there, wait. Are there anything we could do to protect ourselves from the evil types of entities? Yes. First of all, you have to know what you're dealing with, and accept the fact that there are these reptilians. And then you have to figure out a way to get away from them, and also, you know a good way is to not antagonize them. So you'd also want to watch videos on how to deal with narcissists, because uh, that's how dark reptilian energy manifests itself here on Earth. It's through um, the dark triad, the narcissism, sociopaths, psychopaths. So all of that advice that will help you physically deal with narcissists. And then you would want to add your spiritual practices. So go through and watch my videos and watch other people's videos on how to protect yourself, how to protect your space, what kinds of scents to use, what kinds of scents dark reptilians like. Like they love smoke, they love dirt and grime and stench and bacteria, like not, make sure you guys are really taking care of yourselves. Like, that's how like depression will start, is like it'll be a cycle of doing something that harms you, and then that makes you depressed, and then you do more of what harms you. But it can start with just something small, guys, like, just not going to the doctors, not going to the dentist, things like that. Okay, so BB, can you give me 1 minute, you guys, for me to really talk to them? This is about Joe Biden's daughter, correct? And her diary. So, guys, just give me 1 minute, okay? I'm going to just kind of put you guys over here, and I'm just going to talk to them for a minute, okay? And have a little bit of tea. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't know if you're old enough to remember that. That's from Saturday Night Live. Okay, guys. So Jesus is telling me that Ashley is reptilian too. Okay. And I don't know what her diary says, guys. But I'm back. I need more tea. I'm so thirsty. Hold on. So Ashley herself is also reptilian, and she's grown up in that family. And let me put you guys up here. Sorry for the camera work. And I don't know what she wrote, guys, but they're saying that it's not true. It's like spin, and can you guys tell me? Did she? Because they said, growing up in a narcissistic family, you don't have a clear picture of the truth. So, BB, does that answer your question? And can you guys tell me uh, what she said? Because that's what they told me. Is there anybody out there? That's one of my favorite. That's from Pink Floyd. That's hello, hello. Can you feel the pinprick? BB, Inappropriate. Ooh. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, what they said was, all right, let me talk to them. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see if the inappropriate showers. Hold on. I have to sit over here, guys, because when I'm reading the comments, I'm reading your energy too. So I just have to tune in to their energy. Hold on. They're saying no to the inappropriate showers. But, uh, you know, oh yeah, comfortably numb. Oh man, I really, really love Pink Floyd. I feel like, well, I mean, I've talked to Spirit about this. It's, I don't want to get too egotistical, but we've talked about this. Yeah, I feel like it describes a lot of my life. But anyway, so okay, so this is very interesting what they told me. There were no inappropriate showers with dad, but it's interesting that she's ratting him out because although she is not trustworthy, she is also she's not playing it. She's intuiting some of his inappropriate behavior. So I think I've talked to you guys about Biden and how he is a dark reptilian, how he was a reptilian, but then because of things that happened in his life, he became dark reptilian because of his own trauma. But he has passed that down. So although she's not being honest, she is picking up on his creepiness. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah, Knight Rider. It is crazy that it can be your own family. And guys, I highly, highly recommend that many of you have probably been put here to break generational curses. I put that picture up in my community tab. Yeah, many of you have been here. Yeah, BB, I also want to say, okay, so many children in narcissistic families, even if they become narcissists themselves, they will be inappropriate with each other because they are acting out the darker underbelly of what's going on. And it's very sad, but when the way that I feel, and I've talked to Spirit about this, is children, people under 18 or youth that kind of act that out and they don't know why they're doing it, they should really, really be forgiven and helped guided towards how to behave appropriately. Because unfortunately, children of narcissists oftentimes do that. They're seeking comfort in each other that they're not getting from their parents. They seek it from other, playing doctor with other kids. It's they're acting out the unconscious, the energy that's going on. Does that make sense to you guys? Am I too loud? I'm used to talking on my phone. Um, Alicia, you have narcs in your family? Yeah. It is a family curse. It gets passed down from generation to generation, and okay, so there's some interesting things they've talked to me about. So sometimes people wonder, like, um, it's really hard sometimes to tell the difference between like a reptilian and a starseed, because some some reptilian families that have it's been passed down through the generation. At some point, there was a starseed in their family, so they may have um, received some of the physical characteristics of a starseed, maybe some talent. Um, but oftentimes it's marginal. Um, and oftentimes, because of being a dark reptilian spirit, any sort of like fairy dust that they've received disappears with age because of a negative mindset or negativity towards others. You know how they say you can be attractive on the outside but ugly on the inside. I know this is really deep, but I have these conversations with spirit, and it's very complicated. And I've avoided talking about this stuff because it's so complex, and it's just layer after layer. And there's as soon as I put words to it, like I understand when I'm talking to them, but when I put words to it, I'm like, is this making any sense? Um, oh, you can't hear me? Oh, weird. Let me look here. Okay. Oops. Okay. Let me make sure that, where the speaker is, that. All right. Can you guys hear me? Oh, it was your side. Okay. All right. Whew. So, but that being said, as far as you all dealing with narcissism, if uh, Jesus said that most people who watch my channel are star seeds or are positive reptilians, who want to help better the planet. So either way, you will be probably surrounded by a narcissist or born into a narcissistic family or have them around you. They would be attracted to you. Um, so, oh, you had cinnamon tea. I'm having mint tea. Um, and I put it in that big glass because I, first of all, Jesus told me that we all, not all, but like a lot of us eat and drink our foods with the temperature is too hot. And we're actually burning our whole system. And it's really not good. And it's actually, they're saying that it could cause cancer, like throughout your mouth, and it's a combination. But they said the combination of these viruses, like herpes, HPV, plus eating things that are very, very hot in temperature, they're saying that it's the combination of the blistering and viruses sometimes, and even other viruses that can cause oral throat uh, systemic cancer. I was really surprised that they said that. But anyway, I put it in a very tall, like a glass, because I'm very tempted to drink it when it's really hot. And when I do that, I can only drink it if it's warm. Esophageal, exactly. Um, and they said to be very, very careful of that. And also, some people's, yes, peppers. So it depends on your heritage. But if you feel any sort of pain after eating, if the food is too spicy, after a while, that acid that is formed, yes, that can cause cancer, they're saying. So really pay attention to your body. We're actually not supposed to just like be have stomach pains, and I guess I'll just say it like a lot of stomach pains, gas, bloating, and stuff after we eat. Like that's not normal, or I should say that's not healthy. Any of those kinds of reactions, and and think about that with your whole health, guys. Like we're not supposed to be tired or irritable and things like that. Like we're taught to just kind of push through it. But I'm saying, like, you're probably very sensitive. So please take care of yourself and take care of your sensitivities, because they're trying to show you something. And if you're born sensitive and you're able to, like connect to spirit, like, that's going to give you other sensitivities. Well, Night Rider, if chili peppers don't bother you, you can have them. Like if you're, I would guess if someone here is watching is Mexican and you've had generations of people that used jalapenos and they don't bother you, then you'll be fine. Like for me, I can't have gluten or sugar or black pepper, but I can have cayenne pepper. It's very strange. I can eat lots of garlic and onions. I've never seen that emoji with both sides sweating. Yeah, processed foods, like, and that's another thing. Oftentimes, reptilians can um, eat different foods than a star seed, and they can maybe drink more alcohol, smoke. They can maybe, it might be this person that can smoke cigarettes and not get cancer. Like, you have to understand too, guys. Um, if someone is an actual like dark reptilian doing dark reptilian things, they do have dark reptilian protection. It's not the same as having divine protection. The dark reptilian energy, also known as the devil, will turn on you on a dime. So, they could feel like they have protection, but, we've talked about what happens on the other side and how once you pass, like, you don't want to be dark at all. You want to be as light as possible. So, if you're ever wondering, like, if someone like a dark reptilian has done a dirty deed to you, and if they're going to receive, I guess, punishment, just don't worry about it, because it's not like, it's not exactly like heaven and hell. Like that person's going to, fire and brimstone, that person's going to suffer um, in hell, but they suffer because when they pass, when they do their life review, they're going to have they're going to deeply regret what they did and try to find balance by coming back. And what that balance is the hardship. So Jesus is saying, just keep your side of the street clean. And he's also saying many star seeds really have felt that they personally have to teach people, like they'll stay with partners or friends feeling like they have to have a positive influence on them, and that is not necessarily true. um, do you guys have any other questions? I'm going to have a little bit of tea. This is nice using my computer. Does Jesus know he was on The Simpsons? Yes, because guys, Jesus is really funny. His team is funny. Like I've said, Metatron is Robin Williams. The Pleiadians and Arcturians, especially, sometimes tall whites, they're like, don't forget about us. Chris Rock is a tall white. They get together, guys, and they're so funny. They download comedy to people. So you know, the people who what is it? Is it the writer Mike Judge? All those writers and performers are star seeds. So yes, they're very aware of like the really funny shows, and they help they help write those shows. Like and many comedians don't, they might not realize it, but the good ones are mediums, and they're getting those jokes and that information. But it's also guys, it's a collaboration. So when they're on the other side and when they're here, it's a collaboration. So think of it like star seeds hanging out and just making fun of the world together. That's what happens. um, how to clear entities out. Well, first of all, Alicia, um, pray to Jesus and who you feel you connect with, the archangels, and ask them to help you. And then every day, like before I came on, um, use your intuition. Like I took a shower, and so just that air, it's when you take a shower, it's heavy. I turned off my air conditioner. I opened the window. It ushers out one type of air. And then I sprayed vanilla, which they love. And I used, what did I use today? What is it called? Hold on just a second, because I used incense. Frankincense. That's what they told me to use. For you guys, it might be different. You can also, when you cook, cooking's a very positive thing. All the herbs and spices and baking, all of those good vanilla and cinnamon, all of that is very nurturing. That keeps out dark spirits. Have you guys ever noticed that if you were in a dark place, like if you had maybe like a negative roommate, a narcissistic roommate, a narcissistic friend, and you went to their house, narcissistic family members, if you ever just noticed there was like more accidents, more fighting, more like flat tires, more drama. Um, oh, sorry, it got late. So are you planning to go live Sunday nights at 9 p.m.? Actually, I would like to go live on Saturday nights. I'm going to try that. How high is gasoline going to go? Um, Hold on, let me think about that. Talk to them. Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais is a star seed, of course. Um, he's all three. He's Pleiadian, tall white, and Arcturian. Are there any characteristics to spot dark reptilians? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, guys. I really want you to look in people's eyes, okay? Generally, dark reptilian eyes are either like flat or uh, okay, so I don't want to confuse it with just reptilian, dark reptilian. You're going to see not a lot of emotion in the eyes, or you might see flatness mixed with contempt. And you can actually see sometimes if a dark reptilian is angry with you, I've seen it. It looks like their eyes can just go black. It's something, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but there's, dark reptilians and there's regular reptilians, but the difference between them and star seeds is that star seeds will show how they're feeling usually in their eyes, unless just masking, they're trying so hard to mask what they're feeling, or they're going through trauma and they're completely withdrawn. So you can also tell in body language. Oftentimes there's a haughtiness in a dark reptilian. Oftentimes they'll move quickly and robotically for no reason at all. They always act like they're huffy and in a rush, or they could be just the complete opposite, like intentionally being like an immovable rock, because those are more like your really weird psychopaths. But let's just talk about the average dark reptilian. They're going to like act like they're in a rush. These are your people who always drive fast, and they think that everybody's in their way. And if you really look at it, like they're living their life like get out of my way. And they're just doing like errands, or you know life has gotten stressful. We all get stressed out, but they may be just going home to watch Netflix, and they have to like um they have just to move fast, and they're impatient. And if you're talking to them, uh, it can easily go from like when you're getting to know them, that sort of haughtiness and impatience can quickly turn to anger, and you may not notice it, and contempt, and they can end up being very abusive towards you. But because they've always been sort of like pushy and robotic and maybe sarcastic, that it might take a while for you to understand you're being abused. Um, Rhonda, that's awesome that they avoid you. That is great. You might want to at some point get into find a way that you can help people, because it sounds like and BB, I'm sorry I'm saying this to Rhonda because I didn't have the answer for you right away. But Rhonda, I'm really getting like these tall white vibes. Tall whites are very good at the tall whites are naturally born knowing how to they're tall whites are supposed to lead regular reptilians. So a benefit of that is they have this way about them where they're able, mostly, this isn't 100%, but avoid reptilians. It's like me, us Pleiadians, like we're so like a lot of Pleiadians become like psychologists and religious figures. So it's like we can't always avoid narcissists. And oftentimes we were put in our families to change the course for that, so the next generation won't be narcissist. That's awesome, Rhonda. If you can find a way to maybe help others avoid narcissists. Um, so you've experienced with the black eyes. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't want to have a mother-in-law that has the black eyes, but I know. And guys, we're not talking about brown eyes. Like, I have lighter eyes. I'm actually really attracted to people with brown eyes. So I had a dentist that said his sister's eyes were, yes. Yeah. It's like, the expression like a look to kill. Yeah. That's good, Rhonda. That's really good. But thank you for that question, BB. So I don't know if I answered it. I always look for people who they're robotic, militant walking. They're not paying attention to like whether if they swing their purse, if it hits someone, or they whip their hair and it hits someone. They're oftentimes, like I said, impatient. They're not, people always say, oh, that person isn't self-aware. And I like to say that person is not other people aware. So I was the only one in my family that happens with the tall white. Like, I always, the epitome of the tall white is Avicii. But tall whites can be of, Chris Rock is a tall white. So it's more of like a tude attitude. I don't know why I thought that was funny. Anyway, so let's see. I'm trying to think of other characteristics. Oftentimes, like dark reptilians and reptilians, they don't naturally laugh. Like when something's funny, they'll be overly serious about things that aren't serious. Think of those the mean that movie Mean Girls too. But guys, really use your intuition. It could save your life. Like, you hear all these stories about people in hospitals, like not being cared for properly by the staff. You just have to be really careful. Use your intuition, trust your intuition. It can really save you. It saved me. At some point I will come on and tell stories But it is getting late, like someone pointed out here. Um, but I'm going to leave this open just for a little. I'm going to see. Do you guys have any more questions? If you don't, I'm going to wrap it up. My voice is getting tired. Let me have a little tea. It's been over an hour, guys. Mm. Yes. Guys, Knight Rider just said keep one eye open. And I hate to say that because I know when spirituality um got to a point where it was a lot about like love and light and just um I do believe surrounding yourself with white light and being grateful for what you have and the gifts you were given, and connecting to spirit and having gratitude. But also, this is Earth, guys. We are in the 3D. We have to protect ourselves, and I think finding a way to really protect yourself and keep one eye open and be aware of dark reptilian energy while also holding space for love. It's an incredible challenge, but as Jesus always tells me, guys, you can't do anything if you're not here. And if you can find a way to protect yourself without becoming bitter and cold and dark yourself, um, Jesus really asks you to protect yourself. And he doesn't like that people, have used expressions like turn the other cheek. That's not what he meant. He didn't mean don't protect yourself. When he used that expression turn the other cheek, what he meant was like, um, when you are, back in those days you mostly dealt with your family, your tribe. He just meant like if two people, like if let one person be angry at a time. Like if someone's angry, don't match their anger. But he never meant like don't protect yourself. It's just like if a loved one is angry, let them be angry, let them talk it out, hug it out, if you can. He's saying like don't match people's anger. It's not going to help. You can talk about a situation at another time if two people happen to be angry at the same time. Let one person be angry. And obviously, if it's always the same one person being angry, they're a narcissist. There's no room for your anger. So then you have to disengage. And I hope I've made that clear that you really, really do need to disengage from dark reptilians, like because you can't change them. And Jesus has said, you'll see in many instances, if star seeds leave a narcissistic group, that it will implode. They will have to deal with each other. Yeah, fight the fight on your terms, not theirs. Exactly. So, am I making myself clear? I hope if there's anyone here that's really needing help with what you are mentioning, you've been nervous about crowds. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I have mentioned this, guys. We're not out of the danger zone yet, and especially with this Roe versus Wade thing happening, and uh, BLM is losing some of its strength. That was infiltrated with some dark negative energy. So, yeah, I would be very, very careful. There's already been, so what has been happening in the major cities, guys, is that since the riots, there's been a lot, like excessive amounts of uh is it you just personal fireworks. And what has happened, guys, is people are getting used to hearing fireworks. So this just happened in New York. They this scenario happened where people were lighting off fireworks and then they were shooting people. And nobody realized until like people had been shot that both were happening at the same time. So I'm so glad, BB, you brought that up. I'm so glad. Thank you so much, because that was a warning that I got. And I actually don't come on with every warning, and I probably should, but I forget. That was a warning that Jesus gave me, that that might happen, because it's already happened. Um, yes, Alicia, you can look it up, like New York incident where, and sometimes I want to like save news stories and show you guys. I don't want to be all doom and gloom, you know. But I'm personally I'm going to watch the fireworks from my apartment. But if I couldn't see them, I wouldn't go. Oh, I hate to say that. I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer. Um, BB, what is that picture of yours? Is that like a Muppet? It's really funny. Oh, you're welcome. But what's that picture? Is it a Muppet? Good to live. Yes. Like Jesus says, you can't do anything when you're not here. Um, please be careful, guys. Okay, I'm gonna get going. I think this is, yeah, definitely a good time to wrap it up. And thank you. You're welcome, Sea Hag. I like that handle. Um, no, 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 that's a rose. But what's your picture? The picture in your profile, lions. Ah, are you a Leo? Okay. Oh, thank you, Knight Rider. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I love you guys, and please let's thank Jesus and all of the archangels, the Pleiadians, the tall whites, and the Arcturians. Thank you. All right, bye, guys. Be safe. Be safe for 4th of July, guys. Please be careful.